Hey everyone, what's going on? We had a few big movers today, like we do every day. The big mover of the day today was MTFB. Now I was watching this pre-market. I was watching it right around here, and I was trying to identify the biggest levels that I was watching this thing around. So usually I get these from the daily. So I went to the daily here. I started marking out the high of here. This would be a big resistance, most likely 385. So I put that up above on 385, and then I started to look at pre-market. So we set a high of 298. I put that there, and there was a very key level here of 250. We came up here at 4:15, 4:20 in the morning. Came back down, and we surged through it. We came back to it. We bounced off 219. Now I got 219 here from the daily, somewhere in here I think. And this was clearly a level for me. So it kind of pivoted around here. It went down, came back up, rejected, consolidated. I was waiting for a dip to 250 and then a surge to $3. That was going to be my trade. Pretty simple once you just kind of lay it out what you're going to do. So pre-market, we had a little more action than I anticipated. This is 929 right here. Right before the market opened, we surged through 298. So now my trade was, since we've busted through, the biggest support level would be this level. So $3, the psychological level, or the actual 298 level. I probably would have been buying maybe around 304, 303, 305 if I had seen it, but that's not what happened. We continued higher, and if I go to the video, we continued higher right at the open. Let's go right to the open here. So the stock market opens, this thing just takes off to that 385 level here, and in my Discord, I was saying, do not chase this stock. I don't care if it goes to $4 right now. If you buy right here, you have no idea what you're doing, and you're going to end up losing money eventually. Even if this works out and you feel really good about yourself making money, it's a terrible trade. Do not buy here. So I'm just waiting. I can't remember how long I waited for. I told myself if it doesn't hit 3, I'm not going to take the trade. But then things changed, and I took a valid trade. I'll show you what happened here. I saw that we were making higher lows, and there was a lot of buying pressure on this stock. The volume was decreasing as the bids were being raised, and these lows were getting higher and higher, and 385, my magical number, was holding. So no longer was I buying on the way up into resistance. I was buying as it came back through, or went through, came back, got bought up, was consolidating above that level. And I was just, again, I wasn't sure yet, so I was just trying to get a good price. So you can see here, I tried to get in 500 at 377. Now I'm starting to think, okay, it's been a couple minutes. This thing will probably make just an additional move, and I'll try and capture just a little bit. I knew this was going to be a scalp. There's no level above 4. So here I get filled. Excuse me. I get filled at 381, a bit higher than I wanted at 377. And yes, I know that's under 385, but these are just general areas. And I knew that if we didn't fail here under 375, you can see I added there to 1,000. I thought we were going to immediately bust through, but we came back down first a little bit and then went through. So just to show you what happened, I'm going to just let it play out live. I told myself under 75, which was the low of this candle, which is why I'm looking at it right now, I would have to sell. On 1,000 shares, that would be about 120 bucks, depending on slippage, 110 bucks. So I was just waiting. So I'm looking at Solo over here. Someone's calling out Solo and how it's going kind of crazy. It was a really good trade, and I'll go over that. But first, let's just watch this. Let's watch this consolidate. 395, 396, $4. I sold some at 404. I don't know if you saw my orders there. And then some at 411. And I hold on to these last 200 shares. I add to 300 at this dip, and then I got stopped out and I rebought 100. And then that ends up just not working out. I'm looking at another stock and I sell out, and I make a nice little tiny profit here. I actually was up more, as you can see here. And then when I stop out of this thing, because I don't have a stop loss, I'm only up this much. Why does it keep disappearing? Right here. So we were under 385 at this point. That's why I didn't take this this wedge, because we broke out of it to the downside, and then it was done after that. So not a bad trade at all. I don't know what I would change. I did everything pretty much to plan. I took smaller size, knowing that I was taking the secondary trade on this. Like if this had to come down right here to my level, right here of 298, like right at the open, I would have taken like 2,000 shares. I would have held for some of it for 385. I wouldn't have probably held the whole thing right away. I'd be selling at the high of day at the time, which might have been 340. So if it had come down, I would buy, sell some at 340. It would bust through, maybe come back. I would be adding and trying to sell up towards 385. That didn't happen. It kept surging, so that's why I only took 1,000 shares. I'm not doing this 3,000 share thing like I did yesterday. My max risk on this trade was around $120 or so, which is completely reasonable, completely fine. Maybe I should have had a stop loss on this last piece, but I did sell where I wanted to sell, where at the time I thought was the right place to stop out, and then the trade didn't work out anyways, so that's fine. Now they are going crazy right now in my chat or my Discord, whatever, for Solo. So let's take a peek at Solo and see what it's doing. So I was watching this right here. I was watching this right here, and I said, I don't really like it. I don't have that much profit on the day. This isn't really my setup. And then this happened. So the only trade that I would have taken, that I don't know if I should have or not, was when it came back down. Well, I would have marked out my levels. So my levels here, $4. I'm getting $4 from the daily. The highs of these candles are like 394, 390, so maybe a bit lower at 395. And we can see that that was respected pre-market. Let's mark this right now, 488, and we'll see how this reacts around 488. And then, of course, this high, which was the pre-market high, I already see the trade in here. It would have been this dip buy. Now, I don't know if I would have taken that. Obviously, I didn't. And I didn't expect this volume to just surge it straight back up to high of day, but 430 to the high at the time was 465. That would have been 30 cents. Maybe 1,000 shares, I would have made $200, $300, depending on how many shares I sold there. So identifying your levels is one of the most important things, because it will define your trade, and it will define how much you take on the trade. So like I said, on MTFB, this level defined that I only took 1,000 shares, whereas this level I would have been taking probably 2,000. On Solo, this would have been probably a 2,000 share setup, or maybe 1,500, because it surged through, it came back down, and it dipped into that level. That is my A+ setup that I always try to take my big size on. And levels also tell you when to sell, of course. You can gauge the quality of your trade by the levels. So if I had a bought in here and then sold the whole thing like right here at this surge candle, I would have considered that maybe a bad trade, because I wasn't waiting for a target of high of day at the time. So if I had sold early just because I was up or I was scared, I would have been able to say, okay, that wasn't a good trade, and now I have something to work on. I have to hold my winners longer, or if I had gotten in at the wrong time, like if I had a dip bought right here, I would have said, I didn't wait for my level. Now even if I bought here and it went down and then up, I would have been just obeying my risk. Hopefully I wouldn't have gotten stopped out there. We can see VWAP is there, so maybe I would have held it, but hopefully that gives some insight. I say this every day. I'm just trying to give some nuggets here and there, some value. And if you have any questions, leave them down there below. I get back to every single person that comments, and I love interacting with people. And finally, I would really appreciate it if you guys hit subscribe. We're almost there. We're almost at 600. Please get me to 600. But other than that, you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you're trading smart, and always be improving. Now, whether that's journaling or just critiquing yourself, make sure you're always improving. Don't just say, oh, this trade went wrong because of manipulation, or this trade went wrong because the market sucks. It's on you to grab your trading, by the balls and make sure that you're doing it properly and improving, because no one else cares about your trading except for you. No one's holding you accountable. I'll shut up. I'm rambling. See you later. Peace. Bye.